Well, welcome to the number one podcast in all of America today, right?
Well, at least voted by our parents. Your mom and my mom say this is the number one podcast.
Okay. Well, welcome to one of the top podcasts on the airwaves today.
We could. How about a so-so? How about a better than nothing podcast?
Welcome to a podcast that is not bad. So entertaining enough to get you out of your business meeting, maybe perhaps a little distraction for your day. Should we or should we not talk about the elephant in the room?
This guy behind us right here. Let's go ahead and pull this elephant out.
There's an elephant in the room today.
There's an elephant in the room. We're going to talk about this elephant in the room. See, Kim's doing the Rise and Grind podcast today because we got a comment. And that comment was, Brett, you talk too much. Let Kim do the intro. So, typically that stuff gets filtered through our no negativity aspect of our process. But since this came from one of our significant others, which was mine, we decided we'd do something a little different.
And that's the elephant. It's the fact that this came from your wife.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure she likes me more than she likes you.
There's no pretty sure about that. Everybody likes Kim more than like Brett. That is why you're my co-host.
I just wanted to make sure that we're still going to be friends after this. If I get to do the intro and your wife likes me better than you.
So if she says the intro is better, then we're perfectly okay.
Okay.
Deal.
Cool. Well, let's put this elephant to rest.
Yep.
So you have found us, the number one podcast for you who get up every day and you get it. You bring fitness to those around you, and sometimes whether you realize it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about some important things today.
Yeah. And we do. And then I specialize in the not so important things, and we're going to hit those really hard too.
It's about bringing fitness full circle. So physical, health, wealth, risk, fitness, spiritual fitness, emotional fitness, all the ways that we can keep people fit.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So in today's podcast, we're going to talk about what, Brett?
We're going to talk about while we were under masks, many went under the knife. There was a huge cosmetic surgery surge over the last 6 months.
That is so fascinating to me.
Also, we're going to talk about this lady, the cat lady, who paid $25K, that's $1,000 to, maybe they didn't know, to have her cat cloned. And she's getting buyer's remorse because it's not the same cat.
Now, I'm a cat lady, but my goodness, like that's taking it to an extreme, don't you think?
Who knew? We'll go a little bit deeper into that. TV show character names. Do they have one, and what is it? We're talking about the non-important stuff here. This is really not important. That's why we need to talk about it.
Yes, today we have a special guest, Miss Michele Doyle with Bluefoot Architecture and Design, talking about how she helps people fit their spaces and what you can do to keep your spaces fit.
I'm so glad today that we have our special guest, Michele Doyle from Bluefoot Architecture and Design, because I've got a question about man caves. It's a great use of space, but is there a better word? And we'll dive into that because that's an amazing topic that we need to talk about. Kim, we always like to talk about the listener comments. We already went through one of the comments, the unsolicited wife comment, which was fantastic, that I talked too much and let Kim do the intro, which she did an amazing job. Bill from Port Angeles, he said nice, and he gave us a thumbs up emoji.
Now, if you watched our last podcast, that is an offensive comment.
That's a perfectly offensive comment, but we're okay with that. But that led to the birth of the new Rise and Grind merchandise. We have a t-shirt. It says nice on it. There's a thumbs up on it, and it's the official Rise and Grind t-shirt. Here's the thing. You cannot buy these t-shirts. You can only get them when we give them to you.
Yes.
So we are going to ask that all the listeners go to the YouTube and subscribe.
Yep. Go to our Facebook page and like it. And then find our post about our new shirt and please share it on social media. When you share that as well, it puts you into the drawing for our free merchandise.
Yep. And you're saying, well, what does this t-shirt look like? Well, I'll put that in the link as well, because it is darn amazing. It's
actually pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah. So those 3 items is what you wanted to do. I wanted to add push-ups, but they said no. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stick with that aspect of it. So masks are done. We're not wearing masks anymore, at least the mask mandates, because there's still people out there wearing masks. Bless them, right? Meanwhile, the cosmetic enhancement business has been booming. While people have been under the mask, they've been under the knife, Kim. There's a 30% uptick in elective procedures in the last 6 months alone. I can't make this up. I saw this on the New York Post and I wanted to talk about it.
That's nuts to me. So because of the masks and being able to stay home because of COVID, they took the opportunity to do more elective procedures on their face so they could heal in privacy.
In privacy, because then you just turn off the camera, you got the mask on, you don't see all the swelling, right? It's like interior design for your face.
Wow.
So anyway, people have been doing it, but I saw that it was I tried to see the bright side and anything, or at least the funny side. But this lady spent like $11,500 on getting a nose job done to go back to the office. She went back to the office, nobody noticed.
Oh my!
So I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing, right?
Oh, that would be so heartbreaking. You
right?
It's kind of like when you get a haircut and you want everyone to be like, "Oh, that looks great," and no one says anything.
Like there's something different about her. But maybe you wouldn't want to say something. Maybe you'd be like, I don't want to ask her if, her honkers look smaller or something. That's going to be weird. But
that's her honkers.
No, her honkers could be something else.
I know. It's
right? Honker.
You cracked me up.
Yeah, single.
Okay. So
I just thought that was really funny. And I'm thinking the whole time, I'm like, when she walks into the office and she's like looking for her big unveiling, right? Like, no mask, ta-da. And everybody's like, cool.
Well, they've forgotten what her face looks like after all this time.
Nice, right?
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Oh man, that would be heartbreak. I would be devastated it's kind of like if nobody recognizes what you just put $11,000 into.
Yeah, I know. But the whole time I'm thinking about this, I'm like, oh man, 30% uptick in cosmetic enhancements. I'm thinking the personal trainer business, 30%. People are gonna be like, oh my God, I got to go back to work. I got to get out from behind my Zoom. I'm only Zooming from chest up. So I need to go see my personal trainer friend, Brett, because in the office, I'm going to have to be from chest down.
If you're going to put money into something, it would be significantly less expensive than $11,000. I don't think you're charging that these days to hire a personal fitness trainer, to hire Brett to come and help you get your muscles back, maybe get those abs going.
Yeah, to take off that COVID weight. To
not only look good but feel good. I mean, it'd be a much better, much smarter investment for your money.
Yeah, and then when you go to work and people are like, something's different about you, you can be like,
you look good.
I know.
So hire Brett. It'll be a lot more affordable than cutting your face open. So.
Yeah, exactly. But so I thought about buyer's remorse, but how do these segments link together? So I was buyer's remorse. Okay. So she spent 12 grand. She didn't get the love that she was looking for from her fellow workmates. So I saw another article again in the New York Post. There's a lady, she has her beloved cat, Bella. No. Let me get these names straight. Chia. Beloved cat name was Chia. Chia died unexpectedly after 5 years. And she was distraught. And so she had a conversation with her friend, a true friend, said, hey, what about this whole cloning thing? And she's like, I don't know. Let me sleep on it. So she woke up the next day. She dumped $25,000 to have her cat cloned. What? Yep, for sure. I can't make this up. But here's the part that was absolutely insanity. Not the $25K for your cat, because that's probably reasonable. But she's upset because 4 years later, Bella is not the same cat as Chia. Yeah, they're not even photogenic. They're not Chia was very photogenic and Bella doesn't even like the camera.
Oh my goodness. I mean, do people forget that like living creatures have souls? They're, we're all our own individual. You can't just was it Pet Sematary?
That was the first thing I thought of. Yeah. High five to you. That was the first thing I thought of, like Pet Sematary. I've seen that movie. You just go throw it in a hole and it comes back the same, but different.
No.
Right?
No, so. I love my cats. I love animals. And it's so sad when you lose a beloved pet. But $25,000. You know what you could do with $25,000, Brett? You could do a whole lot with 20. I think at this point, if you're going to lose a pet and be distraught about it, take that $25,000 or even half that, travel the world, go see some other places and just find some new experiences that could bring you joy.
That's going to replace
that void.
Yeah, that's going to replace Chia. You know what? You know what else you could do? You could donate that $25,000 to like the Humane Society, and guess what? They'll probably give you a free cat.
Probably give you 25,000 free cats,
and it won't be the same. I know it won't be the same.
But you might find a new favorite in that bunch.
Yeah,
be some fun ones in there.
Or, I got a better idea, Kim. What if you were gonna do that? What if you decided, hey, I just wanted to donate it to a specific charity? What if you said, helping others brings me joy, I want to donate to a specific charity? If you did that, what charity would you donate that to?
I think I'd have to pick the Coffee Oasis, Brett.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they are, in fact, our unofficial sponsor, the Coffee Oasis. And if you're going to put $25,000 into something, why not into something that'll give, at-risk youth of Kitsap County clothing to wear and food to eat, and shelter and job training and confidence,
and really just attention and something like that's what's really going to bring you joy. And that's one of the reasons why the Coffee Oasis is the Rise and Grind unofficial sponsor. The great community activity that they do. Yes. And our vision on that is, you're going to buy coffee anyway. Why not buy it from Coffee Oasis?
And just think about how much coffee you can get for $25,000.
That's a lot of coffee.
It's a lot of coffee.
Yeah. And the coffee will be the same. It'll be guaranteed to be the same.
It'll be good. You don't need to clone it. It's already there. So
yeah. So you want to get involved with the Coffee Oasis. What is the best way to do that, Kim? We've been saying it time and time again. What is it?
You buy their coffee. That's right. That's how you support our local unofficial sponsor, the Coffee Oasis.
Because where you buy your coffee may not mean much to you, but it means everything to them. Right. Coffee Oasis. I've gone the whole show without that so far. Coffee Oasis, restoring communities through coffee outreach and I forgot what
sustainable something.
We'll leave that part out. I totally wrecked that. Okay.
That's okay.
Well, we're glad to have Michele Doyle on as our guest, but also the contestant on our new game show here. Woo! TV shows. What's the character's last name? Do they have one? Do they not? Does it matter? So
when Brett does these new shows with us, these new little games, he does not clue me in on the answer. So Michele, you and I are going to both be contestants on this. And I have no idea which shows he's going to pick. So I'm a little bit scared that we might not know any of the answers. Hopefully you'll know more than I do.
No, these are all, I researched the top 50 television shows, realizing that I only knew about 3. But so we're going to go through those. Number 1, the show is Cheers. Now, Cheers was a show that was
I know what Cheers was.
I just wanted to make sure.
I also watched Frasier from start to finish, so thank you.
Cheers, played by George Wendt. His name was Norm. What was Norm's last name?
What's so funny is all I want to say is McDonald. That's the actor.
Yeah, he's a comedian. Norm.
I was wondering if
I have no idea.
He didn't have a last, but it could have been. Nope. Norm's last name was Peterson. Norm Peterson.
Norm Peterson. Yeah. I should just guess like a random Pearson Johnson Smith. Okay.
So according to my score, that's 0-0. Okay. David Hasselhoff played Michael in Knight Rider. What was David Hasselhoff's character's last name?
Smith.
Princeton.
Nope. It was Knight.
Oh.
Michael Knight.
Michael Knight.
Yeah.
Isn't okay. All right.
Okay. So far this is going fantastic. Okay. Here comes the easy one. What was Joey's last name on Friends?
Tribbiani.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to last very long.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you threw a Friends one in there for me.
Oh my God. Ouch.
On Glee, Jane's Lynch character plays the problematic PE teacher. What was Sue's last name?
Oh, she was their cheer coach.
So.
Sue
Sorensen.
Oh.
You're close.
I cannot.
It's Sylvester.
Dang it.
You guys are doing fantastic at
That makes me mad. Okay.
Okay. With the Big Bang Theory, there was Sheldon and Little Sheldon. What was Sheldon's last name?
I want to say Sheldon Smith.
You think everybody's last name is Smith?
I know, but I really do. It's either that or Young.
Sheldon
Smith.
I don't know. Can I phone a friend?
Cooper?
Yeah.
Sheldon Cooper.
Sheldon Cooper. Where did you bring that one from?
I know the show. I've seen it before.
Holy cow.
I see it. Is that right?
Yeah, it
right?
took 3 minutes, but she got Sheldon.
I got there. I arrived.
And the last of this, number 6, McDreamy from Grey's Anatomy was played by Patrick Dempsey. If you didn't know that his character's first name was Derek, you probably don't know what his last name is either.
I do know this.
Yeah, it's another one I don't know. But I can make something up.
Go ahead.
No.
Doyle.
You're so close. Almost there.
No, don't say it. Don't say it yet, because I did watch this for many years. Derek. So he's a surgeon. His name was Derek. But the minute you say it, I'm going to rip the paint off the walls in this house. I'm so mad.
If this is your house, I dare you.
Derek
McDreamy.
Oh, because his ex-wife comes back on.
Yeah, so I just Googled it.
You can't do that. That's cheating.
Well, I already confessed that I didn't know, so I had to cheat.
It's only a 45-minute show.
Yeah.
Derek. And then his ex-wife comes back on, and I think she still has the same last name. Fine. What is it?
Shepherd. Is that right?
Shepherd.
Derek Shepherd.
Dang it.
Yes, you guys were terrible at this. I loved it.
I'm like the worst.
But after I scored it accordingly, Michelle, you came in second place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nicely done.
Yes.
So mad.
I am so glad to have Michele Doyle, extraordinary interior designer, on, because I've got a question that I've got to ask you, Michelle. The man cave, right? It's a great use of space, but is there a better name? Can there be a better name than man cave? Because for me, it just sounds musky and smelly.
Would it? Yeah. A man cave can take on the persona of the gentleman that will primarily be using it. So maybe you could take on a number of different names. So it would have a couple different personalities, like the dude domicile, or
I like that.
Or I don't know.
I like that, but it sounds like lots of barbed wire and stuff.
Okay, so how about the gentleman's grotto? What if we just called it I don't know, it's basically a sanctuary or a hangout, a game room.
Because back in the day, that would have been called the library or the study, right? The
library, the study, or the den. Yeah, way back in the day.
The billiard room. The billiard for the basement.
Yeah, because man cave just doesn't work for me. Man cave just feels like there's a shag carpet on the walls, right? I don't want to go into a man cave.
Sort of socks in the corner that have been sitting there for 3 weeks, so he just.
Oh my god, yeah. It smells like a teenager's bedroom, right? That's what a man cave means to me. But the girls got it easy, right? Because they got she shed.
We got the she shed.
Yeah.
We got the she shed.
What if we call that a she cave? You would hate it if we called it a she cave.
Yeah, that's got a completely, or a lady cave. It's got a completely different anecdote to it. It's just not right. That's not right.
No, the she shed is definitely a much more elegant statement than the man cave, for sure. It brings up a different image.
Have you been hired yet to design a she shed or a man cave?
I've done, well, I would call them man caves, but spaces where it's just the guy who's going to use it. It was a music room, a bar, and a media room. Media rooms kind of have taken over that whole idea of the man cave, because what is the man cave for? Generally, it's to hang out with your friends, watch the game, drink some beers, play some pool or some darts, right? I mean, generally, unless you're, Brett, and your man cave is a fitness room,
a gym.
Right? A gym. Yeah. So, so I've done lots of lots of quote unquote man caves, which were more multi-use, multi-purpose rooms, spaces for an individual or a family. So, it just kind of depends on what the space is being used for.
I think I've got
And
a
the
new
she shed, and the she sheds, I haven't done those, but I've done lots of tiny homes. And if you think about the she shed, they're kind of like a tiny home. So
I think for me, a she shed, if I were going to hire you to do a she shed, which I would love to have the capital to do that right now, by the way, but if we were going to do that together, I think you're right. I think it would be, multifunctional, where it could be like maybe a guest house space, but also a space where I can just go and, be with my thoughts, read a book without being interrupted. I imagine some sort of essential oils coming at me.
That's what I picture a she shed. I picture a she shed. You walk in, there's plants that never die, and just wonderful smells, great lighting. I think of man cave. I'm like, oh God, it's dark in here. It's terrible in here.
Smoky.
Yeah, it's smoky. Yeah. There's a stale beer. That's the wonderful smell of stale beer in there.
From all those bottle caps that you've been saving right there in that little jar.
Well, and if you think about it, in 95% of the homes I go into, there's always a space for the kids. And there's always a space for the husband, but there's never a space for the female of the house, because it's quote unquote the whole house, right? But it's every place that person has to work. And even even in situations where it isn't a male and female partnership, there are still spaces where one person has their space and the other person, they don't have a space, they don't have an escape. So the she shed is a great place for people to escape.
I think I need one. I think my sanity needs one.
Code them in our home. We code them differently. We have an office and a crafts room. AKA the non-smelly man cave, and the very nice sanctuary of the she shed called crafts room.
The craft room or the sewing room or something like that, which is generally also used by kids a lot of times too. So it's still not the space that is that sanctuary for that partner in the relationship.
Well, I think that's the segue that helps us to introduce our amazing guest for this show, Michele Doyle from Bluefoot Architecture and Design. At age 40, she decided on a career change after 21 years in IT and project management. She went to school to study interior design, and in 2005, she started her own business with little background in training and has never looked back. Since then, she's managed to build a thriving, growing, admired business with a talented and respected design team, which will carry Bluefoot Architecture and Design for many years to come. She's a Chicago native of Italian heritage. That's why you like her already. Her husband, Bill, they have been married for almost 35 years. She has 4 children. It's hard to believe that she has 4 children and 3 grandkids, but she is. And she also has a badass mini dachshund named Izzy. Yeah, she loves architectural, travel, astronomy, serving her community through Rotary. That's how Michele and I met. And on her bio it says she's quite the drama queen. No, she used to be quite theatrical in high school and always loved it. And also she has an amazing dream of designing a boutique hotel.
Yes.
Which I thought was absolutely fantastic. We want to welcome to the floor, Michele Doyle.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Michele, we want to start you out with a little bit about what you do. How do you keep people fit in their spaces?
Well, that's a really good question. And, the way I think about fitness in your spaces, you've all probably occupied a space where you felt disease, like you haven't felt comfortable, right? Either a space wasn't laid out well, you couldn't really function well in it. The lighting was way off. And so you always felt like you were squinting or couldn't quite see things. If it was a place of business, maybe you couldn't be productive. It was too distracting, or things weren't kind of laid out where it made sense from a workflow standpoint. And in a home where there just wasn't a place for anything, or there was a place for too much, right? And so when I think about fitness in your home or your work environment, I first want to think about how do you want to be and exist in this space, right? And primarily we want to be safe. And safety could be from accidents, it could be from straining your bodies, it could be from injury. And then the second is, I want to be productive. I want to be able to use my space. I want to feel at home in my space. So it needs to be a reflection of me and what I love and what really takes my breath away. And so it needs to be personal because design is very personal. So every design is personal to you. And it has to allow me to coexist, right? Either with pets or family or spouse, or extended family or friends, but it has to enable that. So when I approach design, it's from all of those aspects, and so when I first meet up with a client, I want to understand, how do you want to exist in this space? And I go to safety, I go to productivity, I go to all of those things first. So you've heard the phrase form follows function. Function has to be right. And then we make it pretty. We make it reflect you. We make it be an extension of what you love. And so the way I do that is really through observing, people and how they already are in their space, how they're already functioning, what works, what doesn't work, what do they wish they could do more of, better of, or at all, and what gets in the way of their ease and discomfort ease and comfort in a space. So what are the things or aspects of this space that get in the way of that? And we talk and we throw out ideas and we discuss the merits of those ideas and we dream out loud as we go through a space. We dream out loud about what a space's potential could be. And so I don't know if I'm rambling at this point, but really design, it's, we've all seen the design shows and, we've all seen the same designs kind of over and over happen that are quite formulaic, right? But for me, there isn't a formula for what a space should look like when it's done. For me, it's about how it should function and feel and fit first. And then how it looks is really a reflection of my clients and what they love. And so when they walk in,
not every space gets shiplap then?
No. And I fight that tooth and nail. That is such a fad.
On HGTV, they do.
Yeah, well, good for HGTV. And I'm not saying there's no place for it because there absolutely is, but it's not everywhere. And it's not in a chafy spec home.
I love what you said about dream out loud. You basically you ask the right questions and allow, your clients to just dream out loud. Like, what would it look like? What would it be like? What would it feel like to have that made for you?
So let me run the flip side of that, Kim. How would somebody know that they're living a nightmare? Right? We're talking about dream side. How would somebody recognize that it's time for a change that maybe doesn't know that it's time for a change?
Well, if you walk into your space and you don't feel energized, that's right there. That should tell you that there's something wrong with that space. If you can't find your stuff, if there isn't a place for your stuff, if it takes you forever to accomplish some simple tasks, those spaces aren't right for you. They're not designed for your needs. Maybe you feel tense all the time and when you're in the space. But when you go to a friend's house, you go to another family member's, or you enter a showroom, for furniture, whatever, and you automatically feel different. So pay attention to how you're feeling, your posture, are you clenching your jaws? Are you squinting your eyes to be able to see what is in front of you? Are you constantly mixing up your blues, blacks, and browns because your lighting is, not adequate? Those are all indicators that things are not working for you in your space. And so that's when you ask yourself the question, can I do this myself? Can I fix this problem? Do I even understand fully what the problem is? Or do I need help? And if you need help, then you call someone like me that is disconnected or detached from the outcome, and can see things from different angles and flips things upside down and ask questions you never thought to ask yourself about your space.
Sure, because you can detach that emotional aspect of it. Like the husband built this with his bare hands. Well, it looks terrible. It doesn't go there.
Right.
But I can see how having that second set of eyes would look like that. Michele, you touched on that just briefly. What are some things people can do, to help keep themselves fit? Are there any tips and tricks that people can do, that where they can make a big impact with, very little
small changes,
movements? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the easiest things to do is edit, right? So you're in a space, you're in a room, take things out, right? Just edit out things that feel excessive or superfluous. You can always put them back in, right? But first just take it out. Maybe take everything out and maybe put things back in one item at a time, right? That costs no money, right? Or take everything out and try something from a different room and put it in this other space and see how that feels. The second way that's very easy is paint. Paint is color, and a lot of people are afraid of anything other than white or off-white or beige. Pick a color that is a little bit outside of your comfort zone and try it, because paint is not expensive and you can do it. Most people can do it themselves. Or keep your neutral tone and throw in some color, a color that you love that energizes. So maybe you don't want to see one whole wall in pink or turquoise. Well, buy yourself some pillows in pink or turquoise, or a throw or something, and see how that feels. Or a work of art that has those colors in them to give that space the energy that reflects what you love. So not everybody loves orange or pink or turquoise. What is it you love? Put that in there, because those things can always come out if you don't want them, if they don't work. And thrift shop, go and check out thrift stores, resale shops, and select things that you connect with, items that you connect with, even if they don't seem to have a theme or feel disconnected. And because you connect with them for some reason, and then pull them into the space and create something eclectic that feels collected. Those are all ways that you can kind of create a space that feels like it fits you better than what you started with.
I love that. So one of the things we love to ask on the show is, who lit your phoenix on fire? So who inspired Michele Doyle to rise up and be the successful interior designer that you are today?
So I worked for 21 years in IT, as you know, and I was wearing the corporate shackles of making great money and traveling and working probably 70-hour work weeks, and got very, very tired of that after 21 years. And I decided I was done. And thank God I had a husband who loved me enough and supported me enough to say, well, what is it you would love to do? What do you want to do? And I said, I think I want to be an interior designer, because we've always kind of played around with the homes that we owned. I grew up in a handyman household, and he was completely supportive of that. He actually came out of retirement, went back to work so I could go to school and learn the craft of interior design properly. Not the business of it, but the craft of it. And so thank God for that. And if I think back where that desire came from, it came from my grandmother, who really had an eye. My grandmother had impeccable taste, and her home always felt like love and belonging and beautiful and rich. And she did everything on a dime. And she had impeccable taste, and she really inspired me to kind of follow that path.
I love that. I love grandmas too.
Grandmas are the best.
Grandmas are the best.
They are.
Grandmas think this is the #1 show too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So Michele, if you wrote an autobiography, what would that be titled?
Shoot, and it's funny because you told me you were going to ask me this question, and I tried to just come up with a list of attributes, and I guess it might be titled the longest yard, because the transformation of going from corporate world where you had a paycheck and you had a defined day and you didn't worry about money or your next project or anything, to an entrepreneur is it takes tenacity and patience and faith in yourself. And, you're working and working and working to get to that next goal line, until finally you score a touchdown, right? So I kind of think of it as like the longest yard is that transformation from wholly employed to entrepreneur. So
that's fun.
So let me flip this at you. It would who would be cast for your character of the longest yard? Wouldn't be Burt Reynolds?
No, it wouldn't.
This one didn't come up. This one was the surprise for you.
Yes.
Shoot.
Maybe
who doesn't know any actors or actresses? Let me think of who I love. That's Tanae. I love Emma Thompson. She's
Oh yeah.
And she could probably do a Chicago accent. She doesn't have to be a Brit, but she's a tenacious lady. All my favorite actresses.
I like that.
Yeah, she could play me. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I'll leave it at that.
That's so fun.
Michele, we touched on a lot of fantastic topics today. Thank you so much for everything that you shared with us. Did we miss anything? Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Yeah, there's one thing I should say is anytime we embark on a major remodel of a home, we've changed its value. We've increased its value. So the one thing that everybody should do, whether you hire a designer or not, is go back to your insurance agent or call Kim and have your home's homeowner insurance reevaluated. Because if anything happens with that home after you've invested all that money into it, you want to make sure you're fully covered and you're whole.
Absolutely.
There it is, Michele, with another bit of fit advice for people.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Michele.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So here we are. We are in the grinder. Michele, the grinder is a series of simple would you rather questions relating to the topics discussed in the podcast, general topics, or whatever we feel like. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. It's a coding thing you wouldn't understand. Binary trees sort or modified bubble sort?
Binary.
Binary. Look at that. She was on it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Carpeted bathrooms or colored sinks and tubs? Like back in the 80s when they had like pinks and greens.
Would you rather design a bathroom with those? With which one of those?
The colored sinks and tubs. I could at least make that retro and fun.
Yeah.
Carpet in a bathroom is just a huge no-no.
Especially when you have teenage boys.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather call it a man cave or a she shed?
Oh, a she shed.
Yeah, right?
Nobody wants to call it a man cave.
No.
Okay. Would you rather clone Izzy or travel the world?
Travel the world. There's no cloning Izzy. She's
way to think about that, Mom. Way to consider it.
Oh, travel the world.
Okay. McDreamy or Reacher?
Jack Reacher?
Yeah.
Reacher. Oh, Jack Reacher.
Yeah, I knew she had,
Are you kidding me?
She'd have that reaction.
Oh man. Okay, Italian beef sandwich or Chicago style deep dish pizza?
Chicago style deep dish pizza.
Nice. Let me add this up real quick. Absolutely. She moves on to fit or flop.
Oh, you survived.
Way to go, lady.
Okay.
Way to go. So fit or flop. It's a bunch of occupational specific or show related topics that you answer fit if it's a good idea, or flop if it's not so much.
Okay.
Black bathtubs.
Flop.
Flop. Wow, I was curious about that.
Do you want to know why?
Yes, please.
They show everything: soap, scum, water spots, everything. They look.
Figured.
I mean, how do you keep?
Unless you have like a live-in maid house cleaner, bathtubs are a terrible idea.
Okay, heated toilet seats.
Fit.
Are these Bluetooth? Are you like? How does this work? Are you like, okay, it's time to go to the bathroom? Bluetooth phone, turn on the toilet seat.
They stay heated all day. You can surprise it, and they stay heated. No, they're awesome. You should try it.
They're kind of like heated seats. It takes a little bit to get used to. First time I sat on a heated seat, I thought I peed myself.
Oh gosh, they throw me off. They do.
with the bidet seat. Oh, they're the best.
Oh, I have to try. I have to take
If
a look
you,
at
if you
that.
have a heated seat, just warn the person that's visiting your house if they don't know
Yeah.
it before they sit down. Okay, so prefab home design plans. People just buy them online. They're already made up for them. Fit or flop?
Flap.
Why is that? I mean,
Why?
because I can go online and I can find one for $1,000. I mean, it's all mapped out. It's all everything. Why would that be a flop?
Because it's not for you. It does, you're probably going to end up wanting to change half of it anyway. Those prefabbed home plans generally pay very little attention to lighting. They're the bare bones of anything that you want in your space, and they're like cookie cutter. So I don't necessarily want cookie. I mean, that might be good for some people, but not my people. Let's put it that way.
Not my people. I like that.
Not my
And it truly is not a one size fits all.
No.
I mean,
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
So if our listeners, all 11 of them, we might even have 12 listeners by now.
Well, when I counted it, I
15,
think it was 11 and a
15
half.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if they wanted to get a hold of you to ask some questions, maybe do a consultation with you about designing on their own home, how would they reach you?
Well, they can do it in a couple ways. They can email me at Michele, and Michelle's spelled with one L because my mom can't spell, MICHELE at bluefootdesign.com. Or they can go to our website, bluefootdesign.com, and there is a contact page, and they can shoot us a quick email, give us a little information about their project, and we'll have a discovery discussion on the phone.
And just a reminder to all 15 of our listeners, this gal right here would love to design a boutique hotel. So
I would love to design a boutique hotel. I've already done it in my heart and in my head. But I really would love to design a boutique hotel.
My prayer and my hope is that somehow this podcast launches you into that dream.
If it does, I will buy you both a cup of Coffee Oasis coffee and one of their wraps, because their wraps are fantastic.
Ooh, I'm hungry.
That sounds fantastic. And also make sure when you reach out to Michele Doyle to help her fit your space, you let her know that you heard this on the Rise and Grind podcast.
Right.
It's not going to get you anything other than a whole lot of respect.
Yeah.
And respect it's worth its weight in gold for sure. So
yeah, if you do that, if you let them know that it's Rise and Grind that brought you there, then we will buy you a cup of coffee too.
Yeah, we got that covered. There's coffee going everywhere.
Yeah, we'll just coffee up the place.
Fantastic. Well, Michele, thank you so much for being an amazing guest. We were really excited about having you on, and you are nothing short of incredible. So we very much appreciate that.
Thank you. This is a lot of fun. Thank you for having me on.
All right, turn into next week's episode, podcast number 6. We're going to have a special guest from Kim's office. Kim,
that's right.
Who's coming next week?
Mr. Eric Loverock, the agency manager of the Tacoma Country Financial Office, is going to be our special guest, and I'm super excited to have him on. He's going to give us a whole bunch of inside tips for consumers to consider when it comes to your insurance, and also just because I'm biased, he's the man that got me into insurance. I'm really excited to have him on. And
he lit your Phoenix on fire, huh?
Yes, he was the visionary that helped me paint the picture of what a career in insurance would do for my family and my future.
Well, fantastic. We can't wait to have him on.
Yeah, very excited. As a reminder for all of our 15 listeners, we now have merchandise. So
that we don't sell, we give away.
We give it away. So we have our new t-shirts that we're super duper excited about. And let's remind people how they want to win their free t-shirt.
Push-ups?
No.
That was that's the one we threw out. You have got to go to the YouTube Rise and Grind. You gotta subscribe.
Hit that red subscribe button on our YouTube channel.
Go to the Book of Faces.
The Book of Faces, our Facebook page, the Rise and Grind podcast, and you need to like our Facebook page.
And while you're there, do something else. What are they going to do, Kim?
They're going to scroll down, find our most recent post. We're going to post this today. And it's going to be the picture of our new t-shirt. And we want you to share that on your own Facebook page. And you have to keep it public so that we can see it. And if you do those 3 things, if we find that you've liked us, you subscribed to us, and you've shared that post, then you will be entered to win. And I'm sure it's going to be a short list, so you have a good chance of winning. But you'll be entered to win our new merchandise.
Yeah, 1 in 3 shot is really good.
Oh, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
With both of our moms
Yeah.
and you will be entered to win our free shirt.
So get after it.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today to this podcast episode number 5.
Number 5.
And we're super excited. Please make sure you go and check out Bluefoot Architecture's website and chat with Miss Michele Doyle if you have any questions. And otherwise, go out and rise, grind, make it a great day.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.